Hello, it's been a couple days, and I all of a sudden have a whole bunch of new people watching. So I was a little apprehensive and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So I'm just gonna wing it today. I don't have a topic. Maybe I'll figure that out as I go. But it's been kind of a couple crazy days. And emotionally I'm kind of up and down. I guess that's what I'll do, is I'll just kind of introduce you new people to me. I'm on here because I don't know, I feel like, just like a lot of you guys feel like you kind of going through like what they call like an awakening, or you're on a journey. A lot of us are trying to figure ourselves out spiritually, and some people they know what that's about. They've been into that stuff for a long time, or maybe they don't, and they're just trying to figure themselves out. I'm in my 40s, so a lot of times I feel like people do that in their 40s, and we call it like a midlife crisis. And sometimes I have a couple of videos where I talk about that. So like if you're bored and you want to hear somebody with ADHD kind of ramble for a while, go through my videos. It'll fill up that space. But so for me, with this whole like spiritual journey thing, I've always been interested. I've had a lot of like instances in my life where I feel like I knew, like it. I think a lot of people have that too. And either they ignore it, or they they make it like a big thing. But I've had a couple instances in my life where I feel like kind of shocked me. This is from when I was real little. I live in the Midwest, Northeast Ohio. We're considered Midwest. I don't know why, but so my sister-in-law used to joke around, because she's from the Southwest, and she used to be like, oh, there's like a church on every corner. I'm like, yeah, there is. So when you grew up around here, it's pretty common for you to like just go to church, like every Sunday, and then kids would go like on Wednesday to meet up with their friends, type of thing. And it's not like when I was growing up, it wasn't like we were like super strict or anything like that. And when I was growing up, it wasn't like a political thing either. But so it was like I had a relationship with God, but it wasn't like, I don't feel like I was like completely 100% sold on how I was being taught. So you'll see that kind of like a theme in my videos. And it's not like I'm not anti-religion, and I'm not anti-Christianity or whatever. I'm highly against people abusing that. Do you know what I mean? Like abusing people's faith, and just the way that like society does that. But I mean, we really can't blame now, because if you look back through history, that's just what people do. You know what I mean? People with power and money and the ability take advantage of people. So not to get off onto that topic, but so just like I think everybody, like I had ups and downs. I've had instances in my life where you can call childhood traumas, things like that. Don't get too deep into that, just because I feel like I've healed from a lot of that stuff, and I have, like, even being my mom's texting me as I'm saying that. But anyways, she's a good person. It's just it's complicated. But when the whole thing is like, there's several things that happens, and I think a lot of people go through different things like that, as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and as an adult, and you just try to make it through. And each time you beat something like that, it gives you a set of skills, may help you go on to the next one. Not for everybody, but sometimes you do. I think it depends on who you are as a person, what your upbringing is, what your surroundings are, who your support system is, that type of thing. So for me, I've always been interested in like different cultures and spirituality that way. And I think it's because I've always had like this deep inner knowing that there's something. And I remember like always feeling like I'm protected. I literally just always felt like I was protected. I don't know. I remember as a little kid, you know, I was growing up in church, so I mean, I did not go to bed every night without praying, and it was never like something that, you know, I recited something that I was taught, and that it was like I was fearing I would go to hell. Literally, I remember praying for my family's safety, for everybody to be happy. And I remember praying for I remember saying as a kid all the time, I would say, even the bad people. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why that got me emotionally, but I remember as a kid just feeling that, like I wanting everybody to be okay. And I don't know if that plays into some of the things that are wrong with me. I don't want to say wrong with me, but like that, you know, that personality where you always want everything to be okay and things like that. I'll get into that later. But I think that's a survival instinct too. But at the same time, I've always felt something, you know what I mean? And there's just other little things that like I talk about here and there. But as far as like, you know, understanding like what I believe, I've always kind of believed that there is something greater than us, but yet we're all connected. And I remember as a kid, I was an older kid when I said this, but I remember I used to always explain it as, I feel like God is something that is greater and more wonderful, more magical, and more fantastic than any of us can put into words and understand. But at the same time, I feel like it's way more simpler. We put so many like check marks and lists and boxes and stereotypes, and I feel like something that beautiful, like as like the creator or creation, or just like that connection that we have with everybody, and that just that, whatever that is, I feel like putting so much rigidity on it just cheapens it. So that's kind of where I come from. So as I got older, I kind of like, you know, distanced myself. Like I remember just kind of looking around and feeling like the hypocrisy in the way I grew up. And I went to a pretty lenient church, so it wasn't so much that. It was just like just seeing that, but not ever like being mad at like God. And then I got kind of angry, I feel like, because I started to see people in my family like use that. Like there's a few people in my family that are those people, and they would use that like, and just their opinions and the way that they treated people, and it made me kind of like angry. So I was kind of angry for a while, but I was never angry at God. But I got to a point to where I wouldn't even say God, just because I felt like I was aligning myself with those type of people. And I mean, I realize that's stupid, because here I am saying, you know, I don't agree with putting things in certain terms or da-da-da-da-da, but then I'm worried about a word that just because I don't want to like be associated with something that really there's nothing wrong with some of the people that do that. And it's not the religion, it's not the belief, it's the people. So I'm working through that. That's an issue that I kind of realize that I kind of got to get over. I got to stop being mad at people and saying that I'm very tolerant, but yet I'm like kind of demonizing people. That there's a lot of good people that are of faith in multiple different faiths, and I say that, but then at the same time I kind of put this negative spin on it, and I'll be sitting here saying, you know, that I love everybody, and I want everybody to, I feel like everybody has to find their own way to God, and I do. So this is a thing that I have to get over, is my negative experience as a child, and just the people that were involved. And it's crazy, like, because it just skyrocketed like a couple of years ago, you know, last 10-15 years I would say, that I've seen it, and it's just crazy to see like how people are. But anyway, big huge explanation for a small part, not a small part, but so anyway, a large portion of my life I've been with my husband. We met in high school, and it was beautiful and magical, and I have an issue with the whole twin flame thing, okay? So I will not use that word. You won't hear me use that word. It's a trigger for me, and it's a long story, and I don't want to demonize anybody. Everybody has their own path, And maybe I'm wrong, because I mean, I completely 100% agree that I could be wrong. But I feel like a lot of people, like, they use too much stuff and just use it for an excuse to do things that they want to do. I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying in some situations. But so that's another thing, is like being more forgiving and open in areas that I feel like I was that I'm touchy on, because you can't be open and fluid and accepting to everybody if you have stipulations. My biggest thing is I don't like to put my beliefs, and I don't feel like spirituality is something that should be put in a box with terms and regulations and all that stuff. It's just, I mean, the purest thing in the whole existence should not be regimented. Like, I never believed that, like, there's God sitting up there going, well, you know, this is a sin, that's a sin. I only like these people. I don't like these people. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe there's an angry, vengeful God. I believe that there's a pure energy, and that a love is a big, huge thing of it. I think we confuse different types of love. I also feel like we're human. I haven't had it all figured out. I don't know our purpose. Sometimes I'll say where I feel like, you know, that whole saying where, you know, the universe just experiencing itself through all of us. But sorry about that. I had a battery malfunction. But anyway, so yeah, I don't believe there's like rigidity. I don't feel like that should be a thing. I feel like I don't feel like it's a humanistic, evil, horrible existence inside that. I don't believe that. Do I feel like we put those type of characteristics in energies and things like that? I feel like that's a little bit more into it. And maybe I'm wrong. I do feel like, you know, I feel like there's something beyond us, but I don't feel like it's something that is evil or horrible. I feel like something that pure and that much more intelligent or whatever wouldn't be that way. So anyway, so that's kind of where my journey is. I like to take pieces and parts from different understandings. I'm fascinated by different religions, ancient religions. I love that kind of thing. I like the occult. I am a little limited on some of that stuff, just because like it wasn't really something I was exposed to. Like, I always had a fascination, so I would like look at stuff or read stuff here and there, but it was never like anybody around me really was into it. Like maybe a few, you know, friends of mine, but not enough to really dive into it. And then, you know, you have kids and life gets busy and you just kind of forget about yourself for a while. So anyway, so sorry about that really long explanation. And I do have ADHD. I struggle with that. I got diagnosed about 2 years ago, and I'm 44, so it was kind of like a big thing. That is something I struggle with. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm dealing with a freshly, kind of newly diagnosed ADHD person going through their midlife crisis / spiritual journey. And I really love my husband. If you watch my videos, I say that at least once a video. And I always say too, it's like, it's not been perfect our whole life, but it's just, that is awesome that we're going through this together. And that happened. But anyway, and we're still together. But nothing is PG and perfect and whatever, but I am embracing the fact that I have this opportunity to do these things and that I am able to. You know, I'm stronger and I'm better because of it. And I'm in a good place. I struggle here and there, and it's not like I don't have bad days. And you'll see. And I'm all over the place. Like, I will just go ramble, and I'll make no sense at all sometimes. And sometimes I feel like I make sense. But I'm down to earth. And shoot me questions and comments. And I am open for all kinds of cool suggestions. Like somebody had suggested a book I would love to, like, at some point do something like that where, like, a bunch of people get together and be like, hey, let's read this book together, and then we discuss it, you know, like Oprah, but like not. So anyway, so that's me.